Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome back once again. So, I've actually been really active on Reddit, like very active. Make sure you follow so you could see some content over there. And what I very often see on Reddit, actually, you know what? I think it would be a good idea if we just hop on Reddit right now. Alright, so we're on the Monster Legends Reddit, and hey, there's my post. So if you go down the Monster Legends Reddit, it's not very common, but like there'll at least be like one post in a day. Now I hope I'm not just yeah. Exactly. This guy's got a level 150. I think this is called a cute junk. And look at them runes. Why does he have a stamina rune? A life rune? I don't know what Q junk is, but I definitely know he doesn't need a stamina rune. I know what Akira is, and I definitely know he doesn't need a life rune. Why does Domain have a strength rune? Now, unless this is rage bait, which I don't think it is because that's only me rage baiting. But if you go with the sub, there are many people who actually don't know how to rune their monsters. Like, this is a bounty hunt setup. Why does he have speed runes on his Hunan? See, this one as well. Why do they have stamina runes? Why do they have strength runes? And I don't know why they have a rainbow build, but you don't put these runes on these monsters. So we're gonna assume that these guys are new and we're gonna try to help them out. Why is my game glitching? Nice. Look at Mini Men's over here doing his little thing. So yeah, as I was saying, I wanted to quickly go a rune guide. I'm not the best at runes, but I definitely have more than average basic knowledge on runes. So we're gonna talk about runes. So where's my worm lad? My boy. Alright. So let's start from the very basics. What are runes? Runes enhance your monster's stats. So that's life runes, strength runes, speed runes, stamina runes. The runes that are used in battle are only these 8 runes. And I'm actually going to go deeper into how often you even use them. Gold runes, however, you don't use them in battle. They're not so useful until late mid to end game. They are useful definitely, but like you don't really benefit as much as you do when you go late into the game compared to being a beginner player, if that makes sense. But they're good. If you have a couple extra lying around, you can equip them on your monsters and they'll produce some extra gold. That's it. These are the 8 runes you want to be equipping on your monsters, and actually we can narrow it down deeper. Stamina runes, you never put them on your monsters. Why so? You just don't. Yeah, but like if you need an explanation to that, relics and rune mutations, ever since they came out, you really don't need to block an entire rune slot with a single stamina rune. If you really need the stamina, what you could do is mutate a speed with the stamina or a strength with the stamina, but you really never need to use a stamina by itself on a monster. And team stamina, definitely not. Again, you could mutate it with the team speed, not with the team strength, because again, you don't use this guy as well in battle. And when I say battle, I mean wars and PvP. In bounty hunt, all you use is these 2 runes over here. On your main attacker, you use strength runes, and on your supports, you use team strengths. However, your attacker must always go last in the bounty hunt. So if your other 2 monsters are a bit slow, you might want to use a couple speed runes over there. Team life runes as well, you never use them in PvPs and wars. Of course, you can mutate them with team speeds only. You don't need team strengths. So yeah. So now you have the speed runes, the life rune, and the strength rune that are the actual usable runes. That's what we've narrowed down to. So under low usability, you have stamina, and team strength, and team life actually. Oh, so I just put all of them over there. But like team strength is used in bounty hunt, so it's a bit above these three. And then stamina runes should be mutated with speed runes or strength runes. Team staminas and team lives must be mutated with team speeds only. You don't really need to mutate them with a team strength rune because again, you don't use them in real battle. Now that we come down to the four main runes, that is the life, the strength, the speed, and the team speed, we can now dive deeper into which monster gets which rune, and for that, let us hop into the PvP. Alright, so before you start runing a monster, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a step back and learn the roles of a monster, the roles it can have. It can generally have three roles. So a speed monster that is a denier, a controller, a team speed / life monster, which is a tank or support, or maybe both. Actually, you know what? I don't think. Wait, Atom, I think King Atom is a tank and a support. So yeah, that's also possible. So yeah, life runes and team speed runes. And then you have the attacker with strength runes. Actually, you don't run all strength runes in PvPs and wars. You run a strength rune and then a mix of team speeds and speeds to actually give your monster a turn in, so he can actually benefit from that strength rune. So those are the three categories of a monster. Now let's get into how and what runes you give them. So Pulsebane over here is a denier, a controller. Now why is he a denier? Let's quickly get into that. He's got two skills over here: AoE activate all cooldowns and AoE time stop. So what this does is it prevents the enemies from making an attack and therefore controlling the battle. So this monster goes first, denies everyone, and then it sets the way for your attacker, your support to do whatever they want. Or maybe Pulsebane can go again and do something else. So with a monster with skills like those, are typically called deniers, and they get 3 speed runes. That's it. That is it. No other combinations. Although you could give him a team speed rune if you're, let's say, running him with another speedy denier monster. You could do that, but it's usually speed runes, and situationally you can give him a mix of speed runes and team speed runes. Moving on, we have the attacker. What makes an attacker? Something like Pierce. Pierce is a good trait to have. A monster with a good strength stat. So any newer generation monster, honestly. And then heavy hitting skills. So what runes do you put on an attacker? You generally put at least one strength rune so you can benefit from his strength. Now you might think, oh, why not put 3 strength runes? Let's actually get into that. 24,000 speed. Alright, keep that in mind. Same levels, just like a generation of a difference, but that's fine. 22,000 speed, that's the base speed, but he's getting double speed from these speed runes, right? So Pulsebane now has a speed of 45,500 and Caliber has a speed of 24,000. So Pulse is actually going to go way before Caliber. Actually, if Pulse had 50,000 speed, he would go twice before Caliber. And also, like, the opponent's monsters would also take a bunch of turns before Caliber, since he doesn't have speed runes, and so he might just die, right? And so you won't be able to benefit from these triple strength runes. So what you do is you keep in at least one strength rune, of course, to benefit from his strength, and then put in a mix of speeds, team speeds, maybe 2 team speeds, maybe 2 speeds, or maybe you can put in like 2 strengths and then like a speed or a team speed depending on your situation, but ideally 1 strength rune is enough. Finally, you have your support / tank. Now a support would be someone who can remove positive effects from the enemies, remove negative effects from your allies, and the support usually holds 3 team speed runes to help your other 2 monsters get a turn in before the enemy gets a turn. Now the reason I have 1 life rune on this guy is because he's a very old monster, so this is how you actually, strategize runes. You need 3 team speeds on this guy because he's the support monster, but will he be able to survive the battle? No, right? So you swap out one team speed rune to a life rune so you can endure the battle longer. If you have a tank, this is exactly the setup you run. 2 lives is all actually never needed, but you could do 2 lives as well. 3 lives is never needed. You never want to do 3 lives unless you just want to mess around with someone. But yeah, for a tank, you could also do 3 team speeds. You could do a life and 2 team speeds. And yeah, maybe 2 lives and a single team speed. So all of this is information you could work around and build your own team. Me personally, like as you go, like right now, I go back and forth between Olympus and Legendary 1. So like after the end of this week, I'm going to be, this season actually, I'm going to be in Olympus. And maybe I might try to keep my spot in Olympus. But regardless, if this loads one day, so as you go higher up in the tiers and your battles start becoming more elite, these are the kind of setups you run. So like right now, this is my denier, this is my attacker, and this is my support. Diabolus is in no way a support, right? So why am I giving him team speed runes? He's actually not the support, but what he does is he gives my team death countdown, and I need a team speed monster to help my denier go first in the game. So well, he's supporting them technically by giving them death countdown immunity, and he's also supporting them by giving them some extra team speed. Although Akira is an attacker, I'm running speeds and team speeds on him because this is just how things work in the upper leagues. You want as much speed as you can, as well as even though he is an extra turner, you need some stamina on him. So ideally you would mutate a stamina rune. But what's better than that is you give him a Star Sailor sword. So if you have a Star Sailor sword, of course, you give it to him. But if you don't, you can always mutate one of the single runes that you have on your Akira with a stamina rune. But these setups are only required in like higher leagues like Legendary and Olympus. You don't really need these setups. Like it's good, but you don't need them in lower leagues. So as a beginner, you can focus on your basic denier, support, attacker, team comps, and you're gonna be Gucci. Now with that said, let us sum everything up. So let's pick our Wormlad once again, go to runes, and now let's check out the runes. So what I said in the beginning of the video, 8 of these runes are usable in battle. Gold runes, you put them on monsters to make gold, not really usable in PvPs and wars. PvPs, PvP, yeah, that's not a plural. So stamina runes, never use them. Team stamina runes or stamina runes, you can mutate them with speed and strength if needed. Like the single stamina rune can be mutated with both. The team stamina rune you mutated with the team speed. Then team strength only used in bounty hunt, and team lives you mutate them with team speeds, and those ones are actually used in higher leagues. And so out of all of these, the 4 most commonly used runes are life runes, strength runes, speed, and the team speed runes. And then the way you put them on your monsters is 3 types: controllers, supporters, and attackers. Controllers get the speed runes, attackers get the strength and the speed team speed combinations, and then the supporters / tanks get the life runes and the team speed runes. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a look at my rune setups. Actually, most of them, all of them honestly right now, because of the bounty hunt, are placeholders. So they're not my actual rune setups, but it doesn't really matter as long as you have like let's say you're doing war. As long as your war defense is decked out, you don't really have to bother about which monsters have which runes. Yeah, like my defense is crap right now. But anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're a beginner who, got some insight on how to rune a monster. And with that said, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.